Hey guys, you are in it for a special treat. I've got Nita Patel. The right way to say is Nita. Okay. But I'm going to tell you right now, the reason you're in for a treat is because you see this woman here and you assume with her blouse and her well done hair that she's never knocked a door. She's never talked to somebody in foreclosure. She's never banged down people's door to get deals done. But that is quite the opposite. When I found out how she was getting deals and how she was leading the industry up in the Chicago area, I was blown away. And so we wanted to bring her on the show and highlight her for you. So if you guys are anywhere in the country, what's something that you could use? Could you use private money? Could you use contractors? What could you use?
Pretty much everything. I can use contractors, project managers.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So guys, if you go to her website, nitabuys.houses.com, she's got a phone number on there. Do you actually answer that phone number?
I do.
Because the phone number on my website, I have no idea who answers that. And I don't even know if we do answer that. You do answer your phone.
Yeah, I have an app on my phone. So
where do you focus? What area of the market do you focus on?
We're in Chicago.
Like Chicago or outside of Chicago?
Outside of Chicago, so we're in the suburbs. So we invest in northwest and southwest suburbs.
Okay. Are you primarily fixing and flipping, or are you primarily buying and holding? What is your business model?
We do half and half. We buy and hold, fix and flip, and then if we have a lot going on or we don't like the area, then we'll wholesale.
Okay, so you must have grown up in a family that did door knocking and foreclosures and real estate, right? Like that's how you got your start?
No.
How the hell did you get your start?
Well, we started 5 years ago. I was just tired of working, and like I had an accounting job, and I remember like one of the guys that I worked with, he was in India, right? And he would send me messages all the time and say to me, "Oh, you're so lucky that you're in America, like I wish I was there." Like he would mention that every day.
Wow.
And that hit me like, wait, hold on. I've been in America since I was 7 years old. Like, what have I done? I think that was what hit me. And after that, I talked to my husband and I told him that, look, I really don't want to do this job. I don't like to sit at a desk and do this. So he said, go ahead, you can leave your job. I was pregnant at that time, and yeah, that's when I left, and that's where my journey started. So I started searching for things that I can do where I would have the freedom.
Google told you real estate was the thing?
It was, but we all know like how much we put in work, right? It's also how much you want, right? I can just, do 2 deals a month and not work that much, but it also takes time to get to that level, right?
Right. A lot of mindset stuff, a lot of like figuring out the little things that add up and compound to, oh my gosh, I can do 2 deals a month easily.
Right.
So this guy messages you and he's like, you're so freaking lucky for being in America.
Every day for like, I think the 2 months.
And you're like, wow, I feel so guilty. You've got a guy in India that's like, dude, I would do anything to be in your spot. And he's saying it to you while you're at an accounting job that you did not love.
No, I did not.
And you're like, I need to get the hell out of this. Okay. So what did you do? Just quit? Like cold turkey, I'm out?
Yeah, I just quit. And then I also I just didn't want to work. I always knew, that inside of me, I wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? I had started like an event planning business, but it really didn't go anywhere. It didn't, I think I did a few weddings and then I stopped. But little did I know it had a lot to do with the mindset, right? Like I obviously didn't understand at that time how important personal development and mindset is, right? I think I started 2 businesses. It was event planning and then like invitations, like wedding invitations, right? But it didn't go anywhere.
So what was the next move? Once you did the research, you started figuring out what you needed to work on. What was the next move? How did you get into real estate?
So I started like searching for seminars in my area, right? The first seminar that I found was Tariq El Musa's.
Yeah.
It was in Chicago downtown. Yeah. They were not there. So it was like a 2-day thing.
And he wasn't there?
No, they were not there. Yeah, so we went to that, and like after the second day, we left like just confused. Like they talked about wraps, like, creative financing. And we're like, we're just starting. We're like, what is this? Like, what is wrap? Like you're getting it under contract and you're selling it to someone. Like we just walked away like all confused. And then I started my search again. And that's when I found Andrew Holmes.
Andrew Holmes, is he the Indian guy in Chicago?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, he's the founder of the Chicago RIA, and then
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has like an internal group. So then
Yeah,
we
yeah.
went to his 3-day event.
Yeah, he like runs Chicago. He does get pretty good job.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
With Andrew, you found somebody you actually resonated with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we signed up for his it's called Mastery. It's
Mhm.
like his advanced coaching. It's like an internal group within the Chicago RIA, right? So
Right.
we signed up for that, and that's where our real estate journey started. Yeah.
So you started doing off market.
Yeah.
And what was your move into off market? Like, what does that mean to you?
What is
Knocking doors, cold calling. What were you doing?
No, it was just so there's this software called Chicago Deal Vault.
You were basically buying leads from them.
Yes.
And what were the leads? Foreclosures? What were they?
Pre-foreclosures,
Okay.
probates, upcoming auctions, vacant properties.
Okay, so are you cold calling these people? Are you door knocking them? What's up?
I had to do whatever, because we didn't have money. So I was cold calling, door knocking,
Like you're
texting, everything.
doing whatever.
Doing whatever.
What
I
was your
could.
process? You'd call them first. They wouldn't answer. You'd text them. They wouldn't reply.
Yeah.
You'd go door knock.
Yeah.
And you would get more deals from door knocking than anything else?
Yes. Yeah, because you're getting in front of them, right? And then a lot of times the numbers
What's your
that
line?
we have.
Nita comes to my house. What's her line when knock, knock, knock? Yes?
Hi, I just wanted to talk to you about the different options that you have for your house. I know the bank sometimes or a lot of times doesn't, talk to you about it.
Okay, so you were just straight up going to them about, you're in foreclosure, dude.
Yeah.
Let me give you some options.
Yeah.
You weren't skirting around the issue. You were just going straight for it.
Yeah.
Okay. And how quickly did you get a deal once you started using chicagodealvault.com?
Actually, before that, I did like a JV deal with someone. I forgot about that, where I made like $7,500. It was an easy deal.
Was your husband now? Was he with you on this journey, like 100%? Like I'm with you, Nita. Go do whatever you got to do, or did you feel like you were kind of solo because he was working his day job?
Not in the beginning. He did the mastery training with
Mhm.
us and came to the 3-day event, but in the beginning he was not. He didn't want to be part of it.
Why?
He didn't believe in it, I think.
Like it was too good to be true?
Too good to be true, yeah.
Like, I've worked my whole life. Your husband's an immigrant as well. Like he's
Yes.
only been here 10 years.
Yes.
And somebody begged him to come here. He was doing software development and he was a guy who could solve problems. So he worked for Walgreens, to keep it very short.
Yeah.
Walgreens is like, come here. He's like, I don't speak English. They're like, yeah, but you're really good at software. I don't speak English. Like, we're not going to be able to communicate. They go, we don't care. We'll figure it out. So your husband comes here. Everything's been hard for him. Everything's been challenging for him. So when somebody says you can make this kind of money in real estate by doing these things, your husband probably is saying that's not possible. Is that the reason why the support wasn't 100% there?
Somewhere, yeah. I think somewhere he didn't believe it. And then he also had the full-time job, right?
So like when you bring home the $7,500 on a JV deal,
it didn't mean nothing to him. Not the $75.
Interesting.
$7,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
But it did mean a lot for me. I was like, well,
it's proof of concept.
I just like JV'd with someone, and like made $7,500. Like it was within a week. But then after that, it took me like 8 months to get my next deal.
Okay. So that next deal was what?
The next deal was in a city called Streamwood, Illinois. And it was a great deal.
What was it?
Bought it for $60,000.
Where did it come from? I need to know. How did you get this deal under contract?
It was
ChicagoDealsVault.com.
Yeah, I was using the software at that time. So for that deal, I called the seller. I could not get hold of the seller because I didn't have the right number. Right. So then like I started Googling like, okay, is this person still alive? Or have they passed? Right. But I could not find an obituary online. I couldn't find anything. Right. So then I'm like, okay, let me just go drive by and see. Right. So like I went right looking for it and I could not find this house. I think I went in circles like 10 times. And then finally I found it, right? It was like late at night. I think it was like 7:00. And I finally found it. It was like a townhouse in a corner, right? I knocked on the door and the guy opened. And it just seemed like...
Did all your sales training from being a bank checking account seller basically kick in? Or did you have all the nervousness rush into you and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm knocking a freaking door on a guy that's in foreclosure and it's nighttime?
Some of it, but some of it was just building the courage and doing it because I started this business, right? And
Right.
we had no money. I had no choice but
Right.
to go knock on doors and make cold calls and do whatever I needed to, right? Because if I didn't do that, then I'm a failure. And I didn't want my husband who, I didn't want him to think that, I didn't try hard enough. And if I wanted to be successful, I had to do whatever it took, right?
Yeah.
And like I think the same mentor had said, not many people do off marketing, and I was like, I'm gonna figure it out,
Right.
you know. So I went, I door knocked, right? He opened, and I like when I go to their house, right? I never bring up the word pre-foreclosure, auction, or anything, right? I just had asked like, hey, has the bank, talked to you about the different options? The same thing. Like, have they talked to you about the different options that you have for the house?
Right.
And he was like, no, because these people, they bury their
Yeah.
heads
The
in the
ostrich. Yeah.
sand and they don't really do anything, right? So I think I was probably the first one that went to his house.
Now you're knocking a lot of foreclosures now. Is that typical for when you're knocking these doors? Is that people are just not going there and talking to these sellers?
People are not. Yeah, I mean, I have people that tell me that, hey, you know what? We're actually glad you came, honestly, because they're like, look at all these letters, and they'll show me text messages,
Yeah.
and the mail, they'll show me everything,
Oh yeah.
but they're like, you actually showed up.
Yeah.
There's some that get mad, obviously, right? But they're not mad at you, right?
Yeah. They're mad
They
at
have,
whatever.
right, they
They
have
don't know
things
you.
going on. Yeah.
What does your business look like today? Like, what are you doing now? What are you focusing on right now in your business?
Right now we're focusing on more buy and holds.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We have been doing a lot of fix and flips, but we want to do less of the fix and flips.
Why?
And it's stressful. You're stuck for a few months, right? Whereas like if you're wholesaling or subtailing, right? Lately I've been like subtailing deals, right? You're like in and out within like a month and a half, right?
Right.
So I figured this out. We're like, okay, buy them at good prices, right? I take them over subject to, clean them out, and list them. Like, why go through all of that work?
Right.
So that's why, like, it takes.
Okay. So is your main business model finding houses in foreclosure and still knocking doors, or how are you finding your deals?
So we have it's both cold. It's everything: cold calling, text
Okay,
messaging.
but you have a lead source. Your lead source is not texting. That's how you reach out to them.
Yeah,
What's your lead source?
the pre-foreclosures.
Okay, so you're going after pre-foreclosures. Your first method is what? Cold calling or texting?
It's cold calling. So I find
Okay.
the ones that have multiple motivation. I was telling some people during the hot seats yesterday, right? The ones that are pre-foreclosures, probates, are vacant, right? Because when there's multiple motivation, right? Like
It's like a slam dunk.
yeah, exactly.
So you're going after stacks of motivation. You're going after foreclosure, probate, people that have vacant homes. You're reaching out, texting them, calling them, and then inevitably it sounds like you're doing a lot of door knocking. Are you door knocking? What would you say? 30% of your leads, probably.
Yes.
Okay.
At
Is
least.
there a process? You're doing this at nighttime. You're doing it on weekends. Anything that you're doing different that maybe I've not heard of?
I mean, of course, you don't want to go too late, right?
Right.
Like try to go before 7 o'clock,
Mhm.
right? Weekends are good too. So like any time before 7, I'll go.
Are you just going, all right, I have time today for 2 hours. I'm going to go door knock. Or are you saying, all right, I'm going to look at my calendar this week. I'm going to go spend 6 hours in this time block. What's the best time? Should I avoid this? Should I go with a partner? Should I dress nice? Should I drive in a nice car? Give me what Nita's process is.
Okay. So I know the deals that I want to go after.
Okay.
Right.
Why?
So I do a lot of research.
Okay, cool.
Right. I'm looking for these, right? The
Stacks of
ones-
motivation.
Stacks of motivation. So yeah, I make a list.
Mhm.
Right. I'll only find like properties that are in A, B, and C areas. I
Okay.
stay away. So most of them are A and B. There's some that are C, right? But nothing
Nothing
destroyed.
D,
Like
yeah.
nothing
Destroyed is what the D stands for.
D. Yeah.
Yeah, dangerous.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of that in Chicago, like South Chicago. And I think most people just avoid South Chicago altogether, which is sad. But you're not going all the way down there. It's probably a couple hour drive. You're up a little bit northwest of Chicago.
Northwest, yeah.
And so most of your areas are A, B, and C.
Yeah.
And you're creating a list on paper. Are you creating a list? Like, are you going to MapQuest and going, all right, here's the 6 houses that did not answer a text, a phone call. I'm going to go map these, put it in MapQuest, and I'm going to listen to a podcast while I knock these doors. Is that what you're doing?
Believe it or not, I still use a notebook. I have a Podio, but I don't know. I just like the notebook better.
I think the best CRM I ever had was a Google Sheet.
Yeah.
Everybody uses a different thing.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, when you're just working a very niche list like what you're working, especially stacking them like that, foreclosure, probate, and vacant, you're not working hundreds of leads. You're working maybe 30, 40 leads a month, probably, right?
Right.
So you're calling them, staying on top of them. You wouldn't call them one time, text them one time, and then knock their door. You probably would call them a couple of times, text them a couple of times, and go, all right, everybody else is calling and texting them and not getting a hold of them just like I am.
Right.
I'm going to go and do the thing that nobody else is willing to do, which is knocking doors.
Yeah.
And you're saying that most of the time you're making your sheet. Are you writing this out with a pen?
Yeah.
I freaking love this. Yeah. Okay, great. So you got a pen and paper, like
a
yellow legal pad?
It's just a basic notebook.
Love it. So it's like a little thing like this.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. And you're like writing notes.
Yeah.
Your CRM is basically, I'm checking the box of like, I knock the door, I leave a note. This is what happened.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. And I put notes like when the auction date is, who the foreclosure attorney is.
I love it.
And the foreclosure attorney's phone number and all of that.
I love this because so many other people would just overthink. Like, I don't have a CRM. I don't have this. I don't have all the software. It's like, meanwhile, you're out there just knocking doors and making it happen.
Yeah. I learned early on, like I try to, build all these systems, right? But it took away my attention for like 4 months.
Right.
And I was like, I need to go back to what was working for me.
Right.
So that's all I've been doing the last 3 years.
Right. Okay, so you're going, and how many deals do you think you could rely on getting in a typical market in a month? Can you get 1, 2, 3?
Easily.
Just by yourself?
Yeah.
Knocking doors?
Yeah. You can easily get 1 if you're just starting out, even if you don't have the right mindset, easily.
Okay. Is it easier to go with somebody else?
It is. I don't like to go with someone else.
Because they sit there and they ask you questions the whole time, and you're like, dude, I'm trying to freaking do my job.
Not that. It's just like I listen to stuff when I'm driving, right?
Yeah.
Listen to like your stuff, Brand Daniel's stuff.
Okay,
which helps me.
Of course, yeah. So you're going there and you're having a conversation with them. Are you finding that you are literally the only person that's knocked that door?
A lot of times.
Crazy.
I mean, there's times, very few times where they'll be like, oh, someone else showed up a few days ago.
Knocking doors, I'm telling you, you already know this. Yeah. It is the most efficient way of getting deals.
Yeah.
But when I'm at a seminar and I hear somebody saying, oh yeah, knock doors, go do whatever it takes. I'm like, that's a throwaway comment because nobody's going to effing knock a door.
Yeah.
They just don't do it. I went out and trained a door knocking team and I could not wait to stop knocking doors. Here you are still knocking doors, getting deals done.
Yeah, because I'm getting deals.
I freaking love it.
Not that many, like you just said, not that many people want to do it. And there's nothing scary about it. What's so scary about it? Like
people are afraid of their own damn shadow, Nita. What are you talking about?
That's what it is.
They haven't gone through what you've gone through, right? It's like all these things that happened to you in your life really happened for you, as you already know through your personal development. You know this really well. And you're like, this is easy for me. And other people are always seeking comfort, so they're soft.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, what's an easier? Well, Pace, no. I know door knocking works, but what's an easier way to get a deal? I'm like, okay, there is no easy. In my opinion, there is no easier way to get a deal. If you add up all the variables, door knocking is the easiest. However, it's the most awkward because you're just going straight to somebody's house, knocking on their door. You're standing there on the porch looking at all the other neighbors. You got people running by, cars running by, honking. You're looking through somebody's screen. You guys have screen doors there? Mm. Okay, so we have screen doors too. They keep the screen door locked. Yeah. You can't see them, but they can see you through the screen door. What do you want? And having to figure out how to overcome these things and disarm those things. Once you get past that, easiest way to get a deal.
Yeah, like you just have to get past it, right? But people, I think they just don't start. Like even with cold calling and texting, they start and then give up. So it's not just with door knocking.
There is no, I tell people all the time, there's no such thing as competition.
No, there isn't.
There's none.
Enough deals for everyone. It goes back to consistency, right? People are
Right.
not following up. They're not consistent, right? But a lot of people have fear even making calls, right? It's fear of being rejected, right? That's, I think, I had that, but I had to overcome it. Right. I think door knocking, for whatever reason, was easier for me than cold calling. I'm okay now. I'm comfortable doing it now. But I think that's what it is. Fear of, being rejected, and then just a lot of it, right? Self-confidence, self-image. So if people just did the internal work, worked on their mindset, it would get easier.
Yeah. It is so much more about mindset than it is about strategy.
It so is, yeah.
So what's the next chapter in Nita's world?
So I want to start, we want to start doing multi-units.
Like 4-plex, 6-plex, 100 units, 200 units. What are you thinking?
Whatever deal comes our way. I mean, we can start with this 4 unit. We can start with the 30 unit, right? And you also know that I want to start, doing group homes, right? For battered women.
Of course.
Right. So that's the next goal.
So how can people reach out to you?
They can go to my website.
NitaBuysHouses.com.
Yes. And then they can reach me at my phone number, 847-231.
Is that your cell phone?
It's not my cell phone.
Okay.
It's my marketing.
What if I'm a private money lender and I want to reach out to you right now? You're going to make them
on
go through that?
I pick up. I can also give my cell phone number.
Don't give your cell phone number. Give your email.
Okay. My email is Nita Patel, NITAPATEL 410 at gmail.com.
Amazing. Guys, give it up for Nita. Good job. Good job. Thank you.